Good morning, good morning to you. Happy Saturday. Woo, woo. Listen, y'all, we have made it to, drum roll, to Jesus and the whole, y'all like that low down, lot of coffee. Yes, good morning. Welcome to Jesus and a whole lot of coffee. I'm so excited that you have come into the room. Come on and do me a favor. You know, I like to always start. Can you share this with a cousin them, a mama them, an auntie them? Let them know that this bald-headed man is on here talking about Jesus and a whole lot of coffee. So come on and be a part of the Coffee Bean family. I am so excited to have y'all again. Now, I'm going to start the show off, but I'm going to introduce somebody as I'm starting it off. But I had to always go with my cup of the week. You know, I have to remind them that I'm a blessed is the man of faith. I'm a man of God. And so I got my man of God coffee mug on today. And I have a new creamer that I'm trying. It was on sale at the store. And it's this Planet Oak creamer. It's oat milk based creamer. Really, really good. It's a caramel flavor. Go get you some of it. It was on sale at the Publix. I want to get one free. Go get you. Publix blesses people. It blesses the saints because I can go and get them BOGO sales. I tell you, I stock up. But listen, as we go into more of the cup of the week, I have to bring an extra special guest out on stage for this month of May. I'm interviewing moms because I love motherhood. I love talking to moms. I love learning more about their sacrifices and their work. And I have somebody who is a bonus. I call it like a bonus older sister, mama, friend, somebody who helped raise me, who I probably got on their nerve a whole lot, but she is here. You guys know her and you have seen her a million times on the show, but it's always good to have good family back. Bring it to the stage, none other than Dr. Kimberly Johnson.
Woo! Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Listen, Kia, I want to know what's your cup. I need to know what's your cup of the week. You got your mug? Okay, all right. You got the K on there. All right. Listen, I am so excited. So who gave you that coffee mug? Was it a Mother's Day gift one year?
It was a gift. It was a gift one year. If it wasn't Mother's Day, it was my birthday. If it was my birthday, it was one of those days.
Okay.
From my Punky Poos.
Good. So let's go ahead and take our first sip. We're gonna go ahead and join in with us. If y'all got some coffee and tea, come on. And I got my creamer going on. Listen, I'm trying to be healthy, Kim.
And warm in the morning.
Yes, it starts your day off right. A good warm cup of coffee. Some people are big tea drinkers. Some people do like, a little hot milk or warm milk. I don't know. That's not me. But a good warm anything starts your day off right.
It does.
We're going to jump into what's brewing. And today I'm going to ask you some questions. It's similar to the questions that I asked my mom who was on last week. And I just want to know more about you being a mom. I believe you're one of the greatest moms that I know. Val is a VIP. So, she's my favorite Golden Girl.
No, let's step over. You be more than one VIP. Oh, no. But first off, thank you. That's a wonderful compliment. I am a mother. I've been a mother. Guys, it will be 20 years come July 3rd.
20. You only 21. How did you make it happen?
I was, just from almost from my mother's womb. Just it'll be 20 years come July 3rd. I am the mother of, maybe I'm biased, but the three most wonderful young men. I call them little boys, but they're really growing into young men. And so I love being a boy mom. I would have never thought that would ever come out of my mouth, but I love being a boy mom.
Now, Kim, I want to take you back. Go back in the time capsule, in the time machine. And I want you to go back to that first one, D-Bug, Dylan Johnson, who is about to be 20 years old. My God. What would you say to young Kim about to have Dylan? This is your first baby ever. What advice would you give to young Kim about to give birth to Dylan?
Ooh, to the young Kim about to give birth to Dylan, enjoy the journey. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's gonna be okay. It's
Yeah.
gonna be okay. You don't have to.
Well,
I had someone a little bit older in my life at the time because I had a game plan. I organized everything, and I had talked about how in the trunk of my car, how I was gonna have like these bins with like additional clothing. I had all this stuff mapped out, and she was like, "Yeah, you need a baby because that's gonna help get some of that a personality out of you." Because I had everything. You probably know who I'm talking about. If I
yeah, yeah.
And so, I mean, I had everything mapped out, but you know what? Like that commercial, if you've ever seen that
Yes.
car commercial, when you get to that third babe, the first one, they're real particular. By the time you get to the third one, she handed the baby to the mechanic, the baby
Yeah.
got on their face. You realize, like, it's okay. I had a mother tell me once, they were like, you don't see a grown man still walking around with a diaper. They'll eventually get it.
They'll
Like you
eventually.
stress yourself over stuff. Oh my gosh, they gotta be potty trained by. Oh my gosh, they got. Eventually they stop. I mean, like you stressing
Yeah.
yourself, and so I like just enjoy.
So,
And
what is one of those things you could say? You're telling moms to enjoy themselves, but what is something that with each of your boys that you were intentional about? So, like, Dylan was an experience. He was your first. Then you got a second boy, and then you had the baby Daniel. What was like that one thing or intention that you had with each boys?
okay, I also want to say take care of yourself. That would be the other
Oh,
thing that I would tell mothers. Take care
okay.
of yourself. Intentional. I think that I am very intentional in terms of connecting with each one of my boys.
Mm,
Like just one of the things I always say, I would not want to get to the end of my life and my kids say my mom wasn't there for me.
mm.
So I'm very intentional about connecting and talk to me what's going on with you. So just I'm intentional about that.
Good kid. You be so sweet. They blessed. They better know they blessed. What is okay? My next question is, you're getting younger and more seasoned, but
Okay.
as you're getting younger, more seasoned, what is the
Mhm.
best part about being a mom and getting older and seeing your boys grow up? What is the best part about it?
Oh, just enjoying them and having fun with them, seeing their little personalities have come out and their interest in how they're approaching life, but just enjoying them as individuals. I would say, and we're fun. They're just fun. We can laugh, we watch TV together, we can do things together. Um, enjoying that, but also part of that is a challenge because you raise them to be independent, but when they get to the age where they're independent and developing their own lives, you kind of want to be like, I want you to hang with me. So,
Yeah.
but just seeing who they're developing into it's quite interesting.
That is so cool. Like, I was talking to my mom, and she was telling me it was just being able to learn, you're learning to be their friend and learning them in adulthood.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a oldest one becoming, he is an adult. He's not becoming an adult. He is an adult.
Uh-huh.
How is it enjoying like just learning kind of being his friend? You still his mama, but like also just being his
Yeah, well,
friend.
it's interesting because you recognize, and he's a wonderful young man. He's very respectful. If I ask him to do something, he'll do it. If I tell him I want, like he asked me, what are the plans for this weekend? So he'll ask us, do we have any plans before he makes plans? And so part of the challenge and I'm trying to, and I apologize if I lost the
Yo, you good.
today yet. But part of the challenge is just, I guess, letting go.
Mm,
Letting go. I think that's part of the challenge because you realize they have to make decisions on their own. You can't dictate everything, especially when you have someone who's willing to listen.
yeah.
Um, you can't micromanage their lives. You can't jump in and fix everything. And just letting go, knowing that somebody let you go and you were okay. When
Yeah.
you put in them what the Bible says, raise up a child in the way they should should go. When they're old, they're not to part. When you put in them what they need, and you also give them to God, at some point you got to start letting your hands go.
Yeah, taking it
And
off.
that's the challenge. Because we know that my daddy told me. Now, my daddy told me this in kindergarten. He said, "We don't care nothing about you." I was like, "Oh my God!" Because I was very sensitive, and I one day somebody must have raised their voice, and it wasn't, and I would break down. I would cry easily.
Mm-hmm.
And he finally set me down, and he was like, "Baby, I love you, but the world don't care nothing about you. You're gonna have to toughen up."
Yeah.
I was in kindergarten. I might have been in K, to be quite honest. And so knowing the kind of world that we live in.
Yeah.
And although we're tough and we made it, you don't want them to have to deal. And so letting go. Letting go can be challenging. Because you just want to make everything all right for them.
I get that. I definitely get that. And I guess it goes to my next question. Is what is your biggest wish for all three of your boys? You know, you're letting go, you're learning. One's in middle school, one's in high school, one's an adult. But what is your biggest wish? Once they are all adults, what is your biggest wish for them?
Okay, so I'm gonna say this, but it's gonna be a lot coupled in one. I want them to be all that God has called them to be. I want them to fulfill their God-ordained destiny. I want them to have a life full of happiness and joy and peace, fulfillment. I want God to bless them with the wife that He has called to them, they can work together as a team and help draw out of them what God has placed inside of them. They can work together. So yeah, I want all that from my babies. I want that. I want them to fulfill their destiny here on this earth. I want them to have amazing families, great in-laws, amazing spouse. I want them to have a good life. I want them to fulfill their purpose. I want them to make a difference and a dent. I want great things for them. I do.
Well, I guess my last question.
I was gonna say one thing. I said, no. Mommy got lots of. It's all balled into a lot, but it's them being who God has called them to be in every area of their lives.
Listen,
taking nothing back to the grave. Okay, all right. You see,
you guys started. My last question, and I asked this question to my mom about being a grandmother. You're not a grandmother yet, but seeing those two as grandmothers, my mama, but also seeing your mom as a grandmother, how has that been for you? And compared to like how she raised you to like now, you know, she's raising or supporting, you know, you raising the boys.
Well, what's so interesting is my mama is a mama. Sometimes I think she think they're her kids. I'd be like, Mom, you know they mine. You know, and she's wonderful as pie, but just like she loved and cared for me and will probably go to fight in the bat for me, she'll do the same for them. And I have to be like, Mom, you 70-something. And if I didn't do right, she'd probably come after me. Yeah. But she is amazing. She still has the same level of strength or energy. She's invested in them. She cares about them just like she did with me. I would say if there are differences, it's amazing. You know, I guess she's gotten a little bit, you know, older in life and she doesn't have the same level of responsibility. She doesn't have kids she's caring for. So now she got extra money. You know, she give people stuff. We didn't get that. Or, you know, stopping and buying treats and what they, you know, that kind of stuff. We didn't do that. You got the ice cream truck came. She said, I can go to the store and get a whole pack of ice cream, but she'll go out there and buy them one. Yeah. But really the same level of love and care and attention. Matter of fact, to be quite honest, and maybe I didn't require this as a child, but she probably, you know, because she worked and things, she actually plays and engages with them, to be quite honest, probably more than she did when I was little. Mm-hmm. Well, because she got another kid, she's working, but she's out there, she's playing basketball with them. She would probably get on the trampoline if I turned my back long enough, but I'm like, Mama, don't get up there. She's just she's extremely engaged. Yes.
That's a blessing. I think that the biggest blessing is to be able to see your mom be a grandmother. I always say, that's one of the things when I do have children is that to see how my mom will, be a grandmother because I see your mom is an amazing mom and she makes some really good carrot cake cupcakes. And Miss Yellen, if you're seeing
Ooh,
this, I really
yes.
want some. But but she's an amazing grandmother, and so I think that that's so exciting. But Kim, I always like for you to give a little sermonette, a little message.
Okay.
What is a message? And I'm doing this because this show is about how to overcome while overcoming. And so I
Okay.
asked my mom how to deal with, during Mother's Day, how to deal with, somebody who's lost their mom. But I want you to I want you to speak to a mom who is really struggling and feeling overwhelmed. She feel like she's not doing them right. It seems like so much things are falling around her. Can you encourage a mom who's just really like feeling like she's not overcoming right now? How would you encourage her?
Wow. Well, first off, I would say give yourself some grace. Sometimes you got to take it a day at a time, an hour at a time, a moment at a time. Focus on what you are doing. And sometimes you have to redefine what motherhood looks like for you and your household. Just because you're not able to do it exactly like some mama you saw on Facebook or how your mama or grandma did, doesn't mean that you're not doing it right.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're not giving your kids what they need. And you know what? Life ain't perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mm-hmm.
other thing is, I found out sometimes the things we wear ourselves out about, our kids could care less. Are you there?
Yeah.
Do they know that you love them? Do they know that my mama, I have her ear? Do they know that if I need her, she's there? That connection. Yes, there are a ton of things that need to get done. But like I said, on my deathbed, I want my kids to say, my mama was there.
Yeah.
And there physically, but sometimes they know that I'm there. I'm there for them. I'm fighting for them. I'm there to hear them. I know what's going on in their hearts and in their minds. No matter what is on her to-do list, if I can't count on nobody else, I know I can count on that lady.
Yeah.
And so I would say that everything may not be perfect. The house may not be perfect. All this other stuff, but do they know you love them?
Yeah.
Do you know your kids? Do you know them? You know someone? Have you talked to them? Are you engaging with them? Do they know that if nobody else knows me, mama knows me? And you
Yeah.
can do it. You define what it looks like for you and your family. And if they're happy and they're healthy and they're whole and they're well, it doesn't matter what other people are doing.
Yeah.
And it don't matter what other people are saying. It really doesn't. And so
Yeah,
that's
I just felt that in my shana. So the mamas, if you feel like giving up and you want to give up, Dr. Kim told you, don't you
don't
dare,
you dare.
dare give up. You are
Don't you dare.
closer than you think, and you are showing up in the way that you can. Listen, Dr. Kim, I like to play a game. Now, I got to play a game, and it's time for
You know
Pour
me.
Me Another Cup. Now, listen, I did this. This is this or that, but I base it off of, I kind of know you a little bit. And so I did it off of stuff that I think you would like, but you have to choose one or the other. You have
Okay.
to choose one, okay? All right, so the first one, this is stuff that I did Mother's Day themed gifts that I think mothers really, really want, okay? So the first one, a road trip or a day at the spa.
Road trip.
Road trip. You said that wasn't even hard for you. Okay, it's getting harder. It's going to get harder. A nap and being left alone or being in a tub with your salts in your tub being left alone.
Nap. Because I got to the point. I used to like the tub, but I got to the point by the time I take my clothes off, like I could just be asleep. And I don't even feel like I don't even get in there, don't even feel like bathing. Let me go on to the bed.
Okay. I thought that was gonna be hard for you. Okay, let's keep going. Eating at home with your kids and with your family, or going out to dinner with just you and just a date night.
See, my husband go see this. So I like both of them. You missing one picture. So both of these are I like with my family. If I've had if I have felt like I've spent adequate time with my kids, then yes, I can go out with my husband in a date night. But if you really want to just in my world, is me with a plate in the bed. But you didn't put that option up there.
I didn't put that option. Okay, the last one. A clean house, coming home to a clean house, or being left alone on your couch with a murder mystery show on. Which one? This or that?
Now, am I cleaning the house?
No. You getting somebody to clean your house. Your house is clean, tipped. You ain't got to do nothing, or being left alone.
I would say that now this one is challenging. I would say I'll go with the clean house because it's clean. Then I'm gonna walk and go get on the couch and watch my murder mystery.
You can't do both.
I want the clean house first. And once I walk in and feel that goodness, I'm going to go get on the couch with my blanket, very nice and neat because I can't mess the house up, and put on my murder mystery show.
Okay, see. But last cup, this is my last cup of the day. I am so excited that you came on, Dr. Kim. It is always a pleasure and an honor. I always like to say you can follow Dr. Kim and Bishop George on the Success Nation on all platforms, YouTube, Facebook. I think TikTok is Dr. George Johnson. So follow them and see the great things that they are doing here in Atlanta. But I know also if you see it on YouTube, it's the world. So connect with them that way. And as always, come back next week. I got another special guest coming next week. So come back next Saturday for just some more good conversation and some more good fun. I like to always end with that we are proud of you. If nobody ever said that, we are proud of you. But I'm going to say this specifically to Dr. Kim. I am proud of you. You are an amazing human. But more importantly, you really are an amazing mom. And if nobody's told you that, I can see for the boys, my brother, everybody, you are an amazing mom and you show up. You the mother to me and Kevin. So you're an amazing, amazing mom. I always am thankful for you and just you being you. And that is a blessing in itself. So thank you.
I would say, first off, thank you. And I don't think you can hear that enough. And with all that God has enabled me has afforded me in life, Dr. Kim, this is that. One of the things that matters the most, like I said, is knowing I've done right by those boys.
Yeah.
That at the end of the day, that matters more than anything. If I had to have those other things, but I messed over my babies.
Yeah.
No, it ain't worth it.
Well, you didn't got it, Ken. I think they say let the church say amen. Come on to get your last little mug and your last little sip on. Y'all come back next Saturday to Jesus and a Whole Lot of Coffee. Thank you so much, and I'll see you later. I need to give me some closing music. I'm gonna work on that next week.